What's up, guys? Welcome back for another EVE Online video. This is going to be going over how to Plex your account, right? How to Plex your account in 2022. I think it's safe to say that every EVE player wants to get to the point in their daily routine that they can just pay for their Omega with their normal daily and or weekly routine, right? So how do you do it, right? Obviously, if you're starting off as a new player, it's going to be very difficult. Getting that first Omega paid for when you have no skill points and you can't play any ships and you have very little options is very difficult. It's possible, but it's also a lot of playtime. For the scope of my video and what I've actually tried to do for myself is I want to be able to pay for my Omega without actually playing 8 hours a day. I want to play an hour a day at most and get everything that I need to have a sustainable income to pay for Omega for one or all of my accounts. So really it just comes down to math. It comes down to knowing what activities to do, and also more importantly what skills to get and what ships to fly to do the things that's going to pay off for you. Because if you get the skills and you're able to fly the ships and do the activities that allow you to plex your account, then you can start focusing on the fun stuff that might not have a good return. Larger, dread structure bashing, right? Or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to kind of walk you through what I do when I'm plexing my accounts. And sometimes I'm just lazy. Sometimes I'll just, pay for the Omega, whatever. But it's a very interesting concept for a player's aspirations to be like their normal play allows them to just pay for Omega, right? It's a goal. It feels good when you can do it. So with that being said, I'm going to walk you through kind of my thoughts on, it's very simple, right? I'm telling you, you ask anybody about plexing your account, they're going to tell you the highest amount of ISK income that has an early access, a very early bar to entry would be mining. If you're starting off, the way I look at mining is if you're starting off and you're new to EVE or you're just new to mining, the newer you are to EVE, or the newer you are to EVE or mining, the longer and more playtime you're going to have to do to come up with the ISK per day to stay on track to pay for your Omega every month. The higher you get skilled in mining, the further you push out away from high sec when you want to get into null. When you get into null, everything it becomes easier. It's it's just flows if you know where to find it, right? So keep mining in the back of your mind. It's definitely one of the best ways to make ISK, but also ratting is really good too if you know what to fly and what to run. And I'm going to base everything I'm going to be talking about off of as little RNG as possible. So we'll go and get started. I have a spreadsheet made up here. All right, so we're going to walk through this real quick. Now, as you can see here, this is the current price. This is being pulled from EVE Appraisal. This is the individual Plex cost right now. And now all this is done off of buy orders from JITA. So this would be you setting up a buy order and buying at the lowest amount to get your 500. And that's usually what you want to do if you're plexing accounts. You don't want to go in there and buy Plex from sell orders. You want to try to put up a market order and have that filled so you get a better cost margin. So as you can see here, a little over 3 million per unit. For every account, you're going to need 500 Plex every month, which is going to total 1.5, a little over 1.5 bill. And that's going to give you 30 days of Omega or 30 days to farm the next, right? And what that's going to equate to is if you have one account, is going to be a little over 50 mil per day. And obviously, this scales, right? So if we put in 2, then you can see if we have 2 accounts, then it's going to be 101. If you have 3 accounts, it's going to be 152. If you have 4 accounts, 202. And if you have 10 accounts, right, 507, which is going to be a total monthly cost of 15 bill. Okay, but if you have 15 accounts, or if you have 10 accounts, you can do it. Trust me, you can fucking do it. But we're going to base this off of one account just for simplicity's sake. Plex is a little high right now. So the rule of thumb, really, just to remember the math, is for every account, you're going to have to make 50 mil a day for 30 days to pay for your Omega for that account. Every time you add an alt, you might as well just add another 50 mil a day that you have to earn. All right, so now we're gonna do my calculations. I do two different things when I'm looking at just like I'm doing two fundamental things to get my ISK every single day in order to pay for Omega. Everything else that I do, whether it be like project discovery or just doing rated combat sites, all that and everything I stockpile, everything I make through manufacturing, everything I like hold on to, like fuel blocks that I make and sell, all that stuff just gets stockpiled, and that's just extra money, right? That's just fun money. So let's go ahead and look at what I do here to make mine. So for ratting, right, we're gonna be looking at null systems with a bounty risk modifier of at least to 120%. Okay, and we're gonna run sanctums. We're gonna run sanctum hordes. Now, this you're gonna have to be a null. This is gonna be on your probe scanner. You're gonna be able to see it. The median cost, and this is just bounty is. This is not loot, right? This is just you kill the rat, you get the loot based on that bounty risk modifier, and you can get anywhere between 26 to 35, or actually it's like 28 to 35, depending. But on average, after everything, post ESS, all that good stuff, it's actually higher than 30 million after ESS. But I also I basically plan for the ESS to get robbed, so we're gonna put it at 30. So in order to get our 50 million per day, we need to do 2 runs, which is actually gonna give us a little bit over. It's gonna give us 60, right? And you can do a combination of these things. And then over here you have the mining, right? I'm using for a sanctum, I'm using a golem, and you can also I use a Tengu as well. It just takes a little bit longer. And then for mining, I use a skiff, right? Now for a skiff, we're going to be mining Mercoxus, right? Mercoxus is the best thing you can mine with the highest amount of ISK per M3 when you're taking it to Jita, because Morphite is super light and it's worth quite a bit. So we're basing this calculation off of a null Athanor with a T1 rig, max skills, and a 4% implant, which is not hard to get. I think the hardest part about that is probably Morcoxus reprocessing 5, which is a little bit of an investment, but worth it. And this is just regular Mercoxus as well. It's not the other two variants, just to keep it simple. So you go and load up a skiff. You're going to load it up with 462, right? That's going to equal about 8. That's going to equal a little shy of 18,500 M3, which is a little shy of the cap for that. So you'll go out, you'll do a run, and most rocks you'll be able to do several runs on, right? So you shouldn't have to worry about your number of runs. And they usually are the normal Mercoxus is usually found in the medium ore anomaly. So every load you're going to go out there and you're going to grab 462 Merc units. And then with all this stuff, when you refine that, you're going to get 472 Morphite, which is going to be worth about a little over 20 million. Okay, which means that you need to do at minimum 2 skiff runs on normal Merc. Now, if you're going after the other 2 variants, it's even better. Your yield's a little bit better. And if you're able to do multiple runs, like even for me, if there's a lot of Merc rocks in the system and Sanctums are really popping, right? I'll just if I have the time, I'll do as many Sanctums and many skiff Merc runs as I can, and that allows me to not really worry about hitting that 50, right, every single day. And obviously the more accounts you have, these numbers change, right? So let's say you have me, I have a lot of accounts, but I usually just run my main and my main alt. So we'll say 2 accounts, we're looking at 3 bill, 101 million a day, right? So this comes up a little bit, right? So that means we're gonna have to do at least 3 sanctums or 5 skiff runs on Merc, right? But obviously if you do 2 sanctums, then you're probably only gonna do 2 of these are gonna be 60, right? And if you do 3, that's 90. So it's actually probably a little bit more than that. But you just kind of mix and match with this. And then obviously there's project discovery and all the other things like the loot that drops or the salvage if you're doing data relic sites, anything else. It's just icing on the cake. Now I would say crazy. I know some people, but they have 10 accounts, right? 10 accounts, 15 bill. It's 507 a day. It's not impossible. Right, 25 runs on skiff with a skiff on Merc. You can do that. I mean, there are enough Merc pops in the anoms in null that you can grab it, and that'll be that's perfectly achievable. 17 sanctums, that's probably gonna take you a minute, right? That's gonna be a little brain numbing, but obviously, like I said, you're gonna split the difference here. And Also, like, there's other things too. Like, if you're a super advanced ratter, like I usually run like Garistas military operations complexes, and those are not even like, those are like 7 of 10 rated sites, and I use those. I run them in with a golem, right? And my average loot off of commander, just looting the commander, is like 200 on bad days, 200 million on bad days, and then I've even pulled like modules out of there that I've totaled 1 billion, right? For like, 20 minutes of like just killing rats. And that's not even like counting the actual bounty kills. I'll come out of there with like 50 at post ESS. I'll come out there with like 50, almost close to 50 million in bounty kills. Plus the overseer cash and any like faction modules that drop. So, you don't have to just strictly keep yourself on like sanctums or merc mining. You can actually like aspire to going out and finding these rated combat sites, and the commander loot alone, if you're lucky to find one every single day of the month, or even like, a couple times a week, is going to be enough to pay for your Omega. I know a lot of people watching this video are not going to have any clue what I'm talking about, because this is like really kind of geared towards like, more experienced player. But if you are new, then the thing you should do really is get yourself into mining, right? Because ratting in high sec is pretty garbage. Get yourself into mining, get into a venture, start putting lasers down on some Veldspar, right? And eventually get up to a procure, and then eventually get like with some friends, or boost yourself with a porpoise or whatever. And just, if you're trying to do Omega, and you're gonna probably pay that first month, straight up, because it's gonna take you way too long to get your absolute first month by just having starter skills. So my recommendation would be like, fork over the cost for the first month of Omega before the price increase, and use all your time and all your effort to skill into getting into that, procure, and then mining that Veldspar, and just get as much Veldspar as possible. It has probably the best movement on the market because of the trit, because all that trit's being like shoved out to null and all that stuff. So if that's where you're at, then just focus on nothing but that Veldspar. And if you run out of Veldspar in the system that you're mining in, and you don't really want to travel too much, it's okay to grab the Scordite. It's okay to grab, the Plague, and the Pyro and all that stuff. It's just, the point is to always keep it coming in. 50 mil isn't anything. If you're starting off, if you literally just created your account and you have like less than 5 million skill points, 50 mil can be pretty daunting. But not impossible, right? You can definitely get up to the point in the first month of Omega. After the first month, you'd be good to go, right? And so that's kind of my perspective on like how to make money, how to make ISK, in 2022 in Eve, how to Plex your account, all that stuff. Hope this video was informative, kind of helps put things in perspective, and just remember that 50 mil a day per account per month. That's all you need, right? For 30 days, every day you log in, just try to do like 50 mil for that account, and you'll be good. So thank you for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.